Good morning, students. So, in the previous class, we have discussed about the important concepts. There is a torque, couple, radius of there is a moment of inertia, and the conditions for equilibrium of the body. That is mechanical equilibrium of the body. So, how many conditions the body has to satisfy? So, all other important explanations you have learned in the previous class. So today we are going to discuss about the other important concepts of this chapter. That is one is radius of gyration, and another one is the two theorems, that is perpendicular axis theorem and parallel axis theorem. So these are very important in this chapter. So let us now discuss first what is meant by radius of gyration. So radius of gyration, before going to the definition, let us consider here the diagrammatic explanation. So let us consider this is a rigid body or a system consisting of large number of particles. As you know, so the particles will be having large number, therefore let m be the mass of the particles. So large number of particles so are having the masses like m. So m is the mass of the particle. So let x, y is the axis of rotation of the rigid body. X, y is the axis of rotation of the rigid body. Means this rigid body is about to rotate about this axis. Now let R1, R2 and R3 so on be the distances of the particles up to the axis of rotation or about the axis of rotation. So it means let m is the mass of one particle, so it is having r1 distance from the axis. So another m particle is having r2 distance, like that. So there is the one point in the rigid body here. You can see P. It is represented as P, wherein we are going to treat that at the point P, the entire mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated. It is the point where total mass of the body is going to be concentrated, and the moment of inertia of the body is also equal to at this point. The moment of inertia of the entire particle, all the particles of the body is equal to the moment of inertia about this point P. So this is the point where it is having the total mass of the body as well as the entire moment of inertia of the total entire body. So this point which is having some distance from the axis of rotation, it is represented as k. So k is nothing but here it is the distance. It is the distance from the axis of rotation of the particle P where total mass and entire moment of inertia is present. So this is what is called as, this distance k is what is called as radius of gyration. That is, so we are going to write here moment of inertia is equal to, so that is equal to product of mass of the total mass of the body about this point and the square of the radius of gyration k. So k here is nothing but it is radius of gyration. So k is equal to, so if you take k is equal to, it becomes a square root of I divided by m. I divided by m. So what is I? Moment of inertia. What is capital M? Mass of the body. So therefore, so we are going to define the moment, the radius of gyration as it is the distance from the axis of rotation wherein the entire mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated and the entire moment of inertia of the body. So this is radius of gyration. Then comes the another theorem, that is perpendicular axis theorem, parallel axis theorem. So let us first discuss perpendicular axis theorem. So here let us consider this is a rigid body and it is having the body is present in a three axis, that is x, y and z axis. So you can see there are three mutually perpendicular axes here, x axis, y axis and z axis. All the three are mutually perpendicular to each other. Suppose if the body is present in mutually three perpendicular axes, then how to calculate the moment of inertia of the body about any axis. So in this theorem it states that the moment of inertia of the rigid body about the what is called as the sum of the moment of the inertia of the of the body, sum of the moment of inertia of the body about the two mutually perpendicular axes is always equal to, it is always equal to the third axis, that is the third axis which is perpendicular to the other two axes. Means what I am going to say is that the sum of the moments of inertia, that is Ix plus Iy, whereas Ix and Iy are moments of inertia, X and Y are two mutually perpendicular axes. The sum of the moment of inertia of the two axes is equal to the another, is always equal to the moment of inertia of the another axis, that is Z axis, which is perpendicular to the other two axes. So this is what is called as perpendicular axis theorem. That is the sum of the moment of inertia of the two axes which are mutually perpendicular to each other in a lamina or in a plane is always equal to the perpendicular axis which is perpendicular to the other two axes. So this is perpendicular axis theorem. Only definition and statement and the formula you have to remember. Then comes the another one, that is parallel axis theorem. So as the word itself tells, parallel axis theorem. Parallel axis means, so here there are two axes here. So this is one axis, this is another axis, AB is one axis, PQ is another axis. You can see, and this is what is called as a rigid body. This is called as a system. So consisting of large number of particles. So what this theorem states is the moment of inertia of the rigid body or the system about any axis is always equal to the moment of inertia of the body passing through the center of gravity plus mass of the total body and square of the distance between the two axes. For example, you can see here. So if I want to calculate moment of inertia about the PQ, about the axis PQ, any axis, so moment of inertia of the body about the axis PQ is equal to the moment of inertia of the body about the it is passing through the center of gravity, means the axis about the axis which is passing through the center of gravity, means so there is going to be, so this is suppose a rigid body, so always there is going to be a center of gravity is there for any rigid body, there is going to be a point where so the body is going to be balanced, so that is called as center of gravity. So this is, suppose if you consider this is center of gravity, so the moment of inertia of the body about PQ is equal to the moment of inertia of the body through the axis passing through the center of gravity, that is we have moment of inertia about IC, so this is at this point, this is equal to moment of inertia about the center of gravity plus the mass of the body, so let m be the mass of the body and square of the distance between the two axes. So you can see here d is the distance between the two axes, so square of the distance between the two axes. So it is moment of inertia of the body about the center of the axis plus the product of mass of the entire body and square of the distance between them. So this is what is called as parallel axis theorem. So I hope you have understood. So this is about the two axes, that is perpendicular axis theorem and parallel axis theorem. The last concept of this chapter, that is rolling motion. This is one of the theoretical explanation. That is you have already come across the types of motion, that is translatory motion and rotatory motion. So this is also one of the type of motion, that is rolling motion. So what is rolling motion? Rolling motion is defined as it is the sum of translational motion and rotational motion. So in rolling motion there are going to be both. So rolling motion, so this is rolling motion, it is the sum of translational motion, plus it is rotation. You know what is translational motion and rotational motion. For example, if you take a what is called as a wheel, suppose if I consider it is a wheel. So if the wheel is rotating like this, if the wheel is rotating like this, then you can imagine that the wheel is, so it is rotation, it is making the rotational motion, as well as it is moving forward, it is coming to this. So it is moving forward means it is having translational motion. So it is moving in a straight line as well as it is rotating. So this kind of motion of the bodies, if you come across, then that type of motion is called as rolling motion. So I hope you have understood all the concepts of this chapter. So all the concepts of this chapter are completed, and the chapter is completed, that is system of particles and rotational motion. So in the next class I am going to start the another new chapter, that is chapter number 8, it is gravitation. Okay, thank you very much. So if you are having any doubts, you can comment. Okay, thank you.